Thomas with Living Well Connections, and this is our first online Lunch and Learn. Today, Dr. Ludi Dementon is speaking, and Dr. Ludi is what I call her. She's a certified autoimmune protocol health coach and genomic medicine clinician. She has a PhD in biology and more than 10 years of clinical studies expertise working in pharmaceutical companies developing drugs for autoimmune, neurological, and rare diseases. Her health journey led her to change her career. Ludi is managing 2 autoimmune diseases, Hashimoto's and vitiligo, with the autoimmune protocol, or AIP. She is passionate to spread the word, she's passionate to spread the word, educate, and support people with chronic diseases about alternative options to maintain their symptoms and feel great again. She's the owner and founder of Healthy with Ludi, LLC. Hi, Ludi. Are you here?
Yes. Hello.
Good. Yay. Thank you and welcome. I am sorry I botched a little bit, but that's live and that's life. So I'm going to go on mute now, and you can go ahead.
Thank you for this introduction. I'm glad I'm not the only one that I'm not able to pronounce some words like that. I thought that was my English, but it's cool. I guess I have to share my screen first. Then I will do that and that.
One thing we may do is the rest of us, let's turn off our videos for during the presentation.
No, you can stay there.
Oh.
I can see you. I want to see you. Like that I can talk to someone. I like it.
Okay, back on.
I think I can keep it another way, because I like to have all of you around. Like that I don't have the feeling that I'm speaking empty. I'm speaking to you. It's pretty cool. Then, yeah, what I will explain to you, it's that if there is a disease running in your family, it's not a fate. You can take control of your health. And that is something that I will explain to you during this talk. And I will explain a little bit how our body is working and what you can do knowing that. In the US, we have it's kind of an epidemic as well. We have 6 in 10 adults that have a chronic disease. What we mean by chronic disease, it can be heart disease, cancer, lung disease, but autoimmune disease as well, diabetes, Alzheimer's and dementia. All those chronic diseases are it's like a big thing. They are costing a lot in healthcare. They are causing a lot of death. But our medical care don't know how to deal with them, because they seems really complicated for them, and then they are just throwing away drugs on symptoms. But usually that's not necessarily what is the first thing to do. One of them are autoimmune diseases. There is no even more than 80, it's more like 100 different autoimmune diseases that have been identified. And around 50 million Americans have at least one autoimmune disease. And usually when you have one, you have also more risk to have a second one, and a third one, and a fifth. Some people have 5 different autoimmune diseases. It's pretty crazy. But there is a lot of them that don't know that what they have is autoimmune disease and how it impacts their body. And around 75% of those people are women. Because autoimmune disease will touch more women due to also our, I would say, hormones status as a woman, but also the fact that we have more impact in the world. In more in the fact we are doing two jobs, like we are having a job, but we are doing our family as well. We are having children. We are kind of culturally more involved and have the feeling that we need to do everything. And I think that is one of the things that can impact the fact that we have more women that have autoimmune disease. And it will make sense later when I will explain the triggers of autoimmune disease and chronic disease. Here are like few of them that are the most known. As autoimmune diseases, you have like rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, psoriasis is also an autoimmune. Sjögren, myasthenia gravis is more a rare one. You have type 1 diabetes, Hashimoto, alopecia, lupus. They are all autoimmune diseases. And the usual symptoms from all of them are fatigue, depression, anxiety, GI issues, dry skin, pain, like pain everywhere. Brain fog is a big one. And weight loss and gain, you cannot, for example, you need to lose some weight but are not able to. Or you are really skinny and you need to gain some and it's really difficult to gain. Those are really the symptoms that are common for all those autoimmune diseases, even if they are touching different organs or systems. The triggers and the symptoms will be pretty much the same for all of them. Personally, as Robin said, I've been diagnosed with vitiligo at, I was like 15. It was pretty obvious, like I started to have white spots in my skin. Then when the symptoms are physical, it's kind of easy to diagnose. But still, nobody told me that vitiligo is autoimmune. Then they just say there is nothing to do about it. Then I did not really, I wasn't really doing anything. But I still had, during all those years, abdominal pain, GI issues, all those symptoms were present. And I did not understand why I had all those symptoms. I was young, I was not supposed to have all of those. And it's where like 10 years after that, at 25, I've been diagnosed with Hashimoto, like more by chance, because I met one doctor that knows more than the 25, 30 others that I saw during those 10 years. And he was like a dermatologist and said, oh, if you have vitiligo, you may have another autoimmune disease because they are usually connected with each other. Then we will test you for others. And it's where I was diagnosed with Hashimoto. Then all of those symptoms were not in my head, like some doctor said, they were real. And they were really showing, and like my body was signaling that there were an issue inside me, but nobody were able to explain it to me. Anyway, I still continue to just live my life because the conventional doctor I saw was just take your pill and it will be okay. But it was not working that way. I still had those symptoms. I was not feeling well. I was deteriorating. And I started to ask questions about it, like what it is, what they have in common. What is the causes of those diseases? Why do I have them? And most of it, can I take control of those? Then I look at functional medicine, nutrition, why I have those symptoms. maybe those symptoms, those diseases may be linked to traumas and stress in my life. And I also look at genomic medicine, and those causes are linked to my personal genes. Then it's where I decided to change career. Then, as Robin said in her introduction, I have a PhD in biology and I work in pharmaceutical companies. And after all my researches, I was not feeling at my place anymore. Like I knew there were like more than just the drug, that we could do something more than that. That drugs can be really important at a certain time. I would say more like acute treatment or a transition when your symptoms are really bad. But the goal is to go into a better lifestyle and something that can really do a difference into your own body. Then it's where I train as a health coach and an autoimmune protocol coach. And also last year I got a certification as a genomic medicine clinician. And I started my business 2 years ago now. And during my searches, I realized that there were like that it is clear that there is 3 principal triggers for autoimmune and chronic diseases. The first one is genetic predisposition to disease. You have some genes that may predispose you to disease. And that is a big one. The second one is your environment. It means, are you living in a toxic world full of chemicals? Maybe you are intoxicated by heavy metals, or you have hidden infections like bacteria or virus. Or it can be only your chronic stress, your environment. It can be traumas as well. And the third one is your gut. If your gut is leaky, if you have a dysbiosis in your gut, it has a big impact. To go more into genetic predisposition to disease, there were researches that it took like more than 10 years, I think, to decorticate our genes and be able to map all the human genome. And they realized that about all our genes, we have everybody has variation in their genes, like typing error. And I will explain that just after. We have like 20,000 to 30,000 genes and 10 million of those typing error. And they also realize that over 2,000 genes can be related to human disease. 2,000 genes is pretty a lot. But what happened exactly in your cells and in your genes? What it is? You have to understand that we are a bag of cells. We are just composed by cells that are one through the other, and that make us what we are. And into those cells, you have the nucleus. And in the nucleus, you have, like humans have 23 pairs of chromosomes. And those chromosomes are strongly compressed structures of DNA. Inside that DNA, the DNA, it's creating by 4 pairs of codon, like 4 pairs of substance that will create all our genes and all our footprints that will make us who we are. as human, but as person as well, as unique. And it's pretty amazing because there is like just 4 substances that are creating the genes of everybody and make us, you can look at yourself, we are all different, right? But we have all the same 4 substances that are creating our genes. And those genes, if you are like looking at a part of it, those genes will produce our proteins and the enzyme that will be used for the reaction inside our body. For example, in this example, we are creating the protein, the collagen. And all those proteins will be used into our biological or biochemical pathways. It's really complex pathways that are, as you see, all interconnected with each other. Those biochemical reaction needs those protein and those enzymes creating by our genes to do what they have to do and to make our body work optimally. But as I said, it's like when you need to type a lot of, when you are writing or you are doing typing error, right? Especially when you have to type really fast, just you type it, just, oh, I forgot a T, or I put an E instead of an A. And those typing error exist also in our DNA, because our DNA is reproducing itself all the time. You are producing a new cell, and all the time they are reproducing the DNA. Then they can happen as well as to have that typing error. Then those 2 substances will be switched. And if those nucleotides are switched and substituted by another, it means that it can create something different than what it's supposed to create. It's like when you are typing a phone number, you will type a phone number. If you switch one number with another, it means that you will call someone else. It's not the right person you will call. Then here is the same with the DNA. If there is a switch, it may, depending on where it is, that switch can create either just a typing error like in the example, and then the protein will maybe work the same way if by chance, but it may also change the physical structure of the protein, and then the protein will not function optimally. It will function a little, but not 100% as it should. Or that substitution can also create something totally different. And then instead of creating collagen, you will create another substance. And then you will miss the collagen, you will not have enough of it. Then they will have like an imbalance in your biochemical reaction because you are not creating exactly what you need to create. And those genetic, those typing error, those gene variation, then I said, I not said, but they are called SNP, single nucleotide polymorphism. It's really the fact that you are like substituting one nucleotide by another. Those SNP or gene variation are shown to be linked to specific diseases. And it has been shown that if you have a SNP in some of those genes, you may be more predisposed to specific autoimmune diseases, for example. Yeah. Then when you understand that the way your genes are functioning, and you think that, okay, I cannot change the genes themselves, but there is like more than just your genes. You have also all the environmental toxins around you. The polluant there is in the air, in the water, in the soil, all the plastic around, and people are smoking, but in your food as well, then the chemicals they are putting in the food, the way we are eating without being mindful when eating, and eating like crappy food as well. But Rachel will agree with me, in the cleaning products, in the skincare product as well, there is a lot of chemicals that will impact our health. But environmental toxin is also the stress. All the stress around you is impacting your biochemical reaction by increasing inflammation as well. Emotional and physical traumas are shown to also create inflammation and modifying and impacting your biochemical reactions. And it can be, sometimes we say emotional trauma, but everybody can have emotional trauma. It's more the way you are perceiving your trauma that is impacting your health. It can be really a small thing for someone, like just divorce of your parents can be an emotional trauma for you. But for other people, it can be really hard, like a rape or war or physical abuse. It's like also emotional and physical trauma. And nothing is too small either for you. It can be impacting for you the way you are integrating that trauma. Infection are also a big part of the toxins that are impacting your health. You can, for example, the herpes virus. It's a herpes virus. It's a virus that is inside you and it's dormant most of the time. And when you have like immune compromising moment and you feel down, like you have a cold or some other down time in your immunity, then you may have like a herpes virus that will show up, because it will use that weak moment to get up and to be active again. But by the fact that it's hidden in yourself, it's impacting also your immunity and your health. Exercise. So most of the time we say, okay, being too sedentary, it's bad for you, but overtraining is bad for you too. You have to find the right balance that is good for yourself. It's good for your own body. And one is not good, the other one is not good. Find your own moderate exercise and to make sure that you are not creating inflammation to your body, but just release it. Then if you put that on top of the gene variation, you see that your body has a lot to deal with. It has to deal with the fact that maybe with your gene variation and SNP, you are not creating the protein you need. But with the toxins that you are putting on top of it, it just may also be overwhelmed by all of that. And gut health is the third one. Your gut microbiome, we are still researching on it, but we are realizing more and more every month that it has a big impact in our health. We are like, there are more bacteria than cells in our body. We are living in a commensal way with bacteria. They need us and we need them, because they will synthesize some vitamins that our body cannot do. They will help to metabolize our food. They will break down our food. They will produce some energy. They will store fat. They will do things that our cells are not able to, but we need the good ones. There is only the good ones that can do that, and we need a certain balance in our bacteria. Otherwise, the bad ones can influence the balance and make us sick. Then it's really the way that we are using those bacteria and taking care of them that will be really important. And every of those inflammation trigger that I discussed earlier has an impact on our gut bacteria as well. If you have a lot of inflammation and triggers, that will weak your gut bacteria as well, or not feed it correctly, and then create an imbalance. And that imbalance is now recognized to be linked to a lot of different diseases. It can be autism, it can be Alzheimer, is shown to be related to gut dysbiosis, it can be allergies. There is a lot now that is shown. And it's where you understand that your human body is really complex and everything is interconnected. Our way to live is connected with our microbiome, is connected with our genes, is connected with the way we think, and is connected with our health. And I like to compare also our body with a car. If you are buying a really fancy, pretty, wonderful car, you want to take care of it, right? You don't want to put like soda in your car because a car is not supposed to have soda. And if you buy a good car, you don't want to break it right away, then you will take care of it, right? You will follow the instruction on the user guide. You will buy the best oil. You will buy the best fuel. And why are we not doing it with our body? We just have one. If we break the car, we can buy another one if we have enough money. But we cannot do the same with our own body. We just have one. We have to take care of it. But the issue I see is, did you receive a user manual, a user guide for your body? No, you did not get it. And what the kids are receiving in instruction in biology in their courses at school, it's not really relevant for them to understand how to really work our body and what to do to make it work optimally. Then the question is, first, why do we eat? I like to ask that usually live and ask the audience, why do we eat? We can eat for fun. We can eat because we are hungry. We can eat because we want to be around people for comfort. We can eat, to get some energy. We need food, we need oxygen, we need energy. But we eat mostly because we need nutrients. We need all those nutrients from our food, because all our internal biochemical reaction needs those nutrients. As a human species, we need those nutrients because our human biochemical reaction need those nutrients to make us healthy, to make us our body creating everything we need to stay healthy. We need those to repair our DNA, to produce hormones, to eliminate the free radicals and inflammation. to detoxify our cells and to produce energy and much more. We need all of those. And I would say it's where we are now with all those epidemic of chronic diseases. We are not eating to feed our body with nutrients. We are eating crappy foods and processed food that are empty. They are just putting a weight on our body and just make us think that we are fed it, but we don't get those nutrients we need. And it's where if we provide our body with all those nutrients, the body is resilient, it can heal, and it can reverse some of those gene variation you have, or like predisposition to disease can be reversed if you provide enough nutrient to your body. And when I look at all of that in my personal journey, I realized and I understood better why I had those autoimmune diseases. I have a lot of gene variants, SNPs, that are creating inflammation. Then when I start already building up inflammation to start, like I have like gene variants that instead of reducing inflammation, the fact that I have like a typing errors, they are not reducing inflammation as they should. And other, I have gene variants that increase inflammation just because they are there. And then I had 2 surgeries that is considered as trauma in my body. I had infection with bacteria and parasite that is also adding traumas and inflammation. I had traumas of abuse as a child. I was playing with mercury and heavy metal when I was a kid because I found it was really fun. I don't know if you already played with mercury. It's really fun, but it's really dangerous. Don't do that. I didn't know when I was a kid, but I understand now better. I had like a stressful job for more than 10 years. We moved 3 times internationally within 4 years. It was pretty crazy. And I had also atopic pregnancy with a near-death experience 8 years ago. That's all of that are into adding into inflammation and craziness inside that body that was already not perfect with the gene variant. And on top of that, of course, my gut is not balanced. Of course, with that, it's a trigger, but it's also in a way symptoms. Then what I did, I decided to take control of my body, take control of my health. And I applied different change in my lifestyle, like feed my body with nutrient-rich food, remove inflammatory food, ensure that I'm going to sleep not too late, like before 11:30, the best is 10:30, but to sleep at least 7 to 9 hours. Reduce toxins in my house and around me by buying organic food, filter my water, get rid of all my cleaning products and only use no wax. Getting into physical activities that works for me and not exhaust my body, and being outside, enjoy the birds singing in the morning, and simple things as, you know, looking at the wood and the trees. And of course, having a great support network around me and create a new network that I can trust as well. It's what I'm doing as well now. And all of that are in fact the pillars of the autoimmune protocol and the nitrogenomics that are working with my clients. And the important is not what you cannot do, but all you can do with that perspective. And it's where it's so important to understand that your genes are not your destiny. You are born with your genes, with your variation, with your typing errors, but you can modify that. You can modify the expression of those genes. It's not because you have those genes that you are doomed with those genes. You can make those genes that are good expressing themselves more, and those that are creating inflammation, you can shut them down and hit them and like put them in dormant state and shut them off. How you can do that? It's all in the principle and the pillars I just said, because, and with food, the food you are eating is talking to your genes. And it's the way we can also manage that. It's you want to look more into how you are internally and what are your gene variation. We are really looking at a whole, because as I said, your body is, everything is interconnected. And it's not just, oh, I have bi genes because I did the 23andMe and then I know that I have MTHFR and I will not just do that. No, it's not you. Your genes map, it's one of the tools you can use, but it's not the only one. The genomic testing I'm doing are a great tool, but I need also all the rest of it, like what's your history, what's your diet, what's your health priorities, what are your symptoms. And looking at all of that, we can provide better recommendation on what you can do to switch those genes through better health. And that is really the goal of what I'm doing with my clients now. And you will say, yeah, that's good, but what I'm eating now? Then the best food for your genes are food that are nutrient dense. As I said, we need those nutrients for our genes to be happy. And the best ones for Americans, I know it can be gross, but it's organ meats, offals, the liver, brain, tongue, heart. If you did not try chicken heart or duck heart, you have to try. It's really delicious. And it's so full of nutrients. And in Belgium, when I was a kid, we had like the butcher. He had like all of that. We could choose. Okay, we were eating the brain that was delicious. Yeah, I know. We were eating the kidneys. You could go in those fancy restaurants and you can order kidneys. It's like a fancy meal in Belgium, and it's so delicious. But yeah, you have to try. Let me know if you try. Seafood, it's also so important because they are providing the active form of omega-3 fatty acids that are so important for your genes and for your body. We know that the brain is 60% composed by fat. Then you need really good fat to have a brain that is working optimally. Of course, all the vegetable and fruits from all colors. You certainly already heard about Eat the Rainbow. It's not crazy, it's real. With each color is providing different phytochemicals. And with those different phytochemicals, you provide your body what it needs. Among those vegetables, one family that is really important is the cruciferous. Cruciferous family is pretty large. Here is just few examples that are most known, but there are more than that. And they are so rich in sulforaphane, in quercetin, and other vitamin and phytochemicals that they have been recognized as really efficient to fight cancer cells and to create a good immunity. Then the big advice is to have cruciferous at least one every day, and if possible at every meal, because they are so powerful. All the herbs and spices are awesome as well, because they will provide those bioactive and phytochemicals you would need. Like capers is really rich in quercetin, or radish leaves. I was used to trash away my radish leaves before, and now it's the first thing that I'm looking when I'm trying to, to choose my radish at the grocery store. I'm not looking at the radishes anymore. I'm looking at the leaves if they are pretty. And then if they are good and fresh, okay, I'm taking that one, and then I can do a salad with it. Or you can also do that with the leaves of your beets. You can buy the beets with the leaves and create a salad with it. It's like a free salad. It's anyway, you are buying it with your veggies. And it's full of other wonderful substance for your body. Vitamin D, it's one that is really important, especially now that we are in this pandemic. Vitamin D is pretty difficult to find in food, unfortunately, but it's known to be available in mushrooms and seafood. And of course, going into the sun, then if as much as you can, go outside and enjoy sunlight to increase your vitamin D intake. Other essential are, of course, curcumin, all the allium family, and ginger, and all the red foods that contain lycopene. That is also helping your immune system. Out of that, you can do also relaxing and be happy, enjoy your life, and not stress too much, because that also, it's one important part of healing and making your body releasing that extra inflammation of our modern life. And if you are overwhelmed by everything I said to you right now, just keep calm and walk with a coach. And thank you. If you have any question or any comments, let me know. I cannot hear you, Robin.
You're muted.
You're muted, Robin.
Everyone else is not muted, but Robin.
I said unmute all in my thing and it didn't unmute me. I said, thank you so much, Ludi. That was wonderful. And I'm so happy you have this slide so everyone knows how to reach you. And we'll leave that up for a while. As we have time for questions, I am going to stop the recording right now so people can feel free asking their questions.
Yeah, just one more thing. I will send to the participant today a bonus. It's a small game. It's called Boost Your Immunity game. It's the best, I think, the best time to get it right now. It's a small game. You can even like cut and do it with your kids if you want. And I will send
That's
it
great.
to you by email.
Okay, great. Great. And I'll give you everybody's email who was on here. I have them. All right. I'm going to